Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Andreas BÄ×low is our guest for the next hour. We're very honored to have this esteemed guest with us. He is a German writer, lawyer, former SPD politician. He has been working on books about intelligence agencies, including In the Name of the State, CIA, BND, and the criminal machinations of secret services. He has also written a book that's been a bestseller in Germany, The CIA on September 11th. He possesses a doctorate in jurisprudence. He served as the state secretary in the German Federal Ministry of Defense, 1976 and 1980, and Minister for Research and Technology, 1980 to 82, both during Chancellor Helmut Schmidt's administration, and was regarded as a rising star of German politics at the time. He served for 25 years as an SPD member of the German parliament until 94. In the late 80s and early 90s, he served as a parliamentary committee on intelligence services. This committee supervised German intelligence agencies and has access to classified information. Hence, he knows all about government-sponsored terror. In the early 80s, BÄ×low also served as SPD ranking member in the investigative committee, a task that led him to inquire into white-collar crime in connection with Eastern intelligence services, and later also into the labels criminal activities of Western intelligence services. It goes on, and it is great to have him back on with us. Mr. BÄ×low, thank you for coming on.
Hello. Good evening.
It's good to have you here. We're about to break.
Good evening. In your time, it's before.
It is afternoon, but it is evening. What is it, about 9 o'clock your time?
8 o'clock.
Okay, well, we're honored to have you with us. We're about to break in about 3 minutes, but just give us a preview, Mr. BÄ×low. What are you going to be covering today? What do you think's most important as the 9/11 Black Op attacks unravel?
The text unravel? I didn't understand the last sentence.
The 9/11 fable is unraveling. What do you think is most important now?
Well, most important now is to gain the majority with people doubting the official version. It's a conspiracy theory handled by the government, but it's totally false, and we have to look through and know what has happened. And I now firmly believe that the government was involved in this 9/11 business.
You know, you were one of the first people with your credentials, a major, government cabinet official, and the multiple positions you've held in German cabinet to expose 9/11. Now we've seen the former Italian president. We've seen number 3 in the Blair government. We've seen Jesse Ventura. We've seen movie stars, best actress. It is a tidal wave of awakening. Do you agree?
Yes, and I think and a lot of experts in all these fields which were involved at 9/11, whether the FAA or the military, the Air Force, and so on, everybody gave testimony, very knowledgeable about what happened, and that the official story couldn't stand.
Absolutely. Well, today I'd like to go through why you have originally, from your training in intelligence and in technology and in defense and in government and investigating intelligence agency crimes, to talk about 9/11 and why you believe they did it, why they were involved, who you now identify, who Andreas BÄ×low believes were involved in the attacks, since you haven't been on with us for almost 5 years. And then where you think an investigation should go, where it should arise from, and then generally about the books you've written, not just about 9/11, but about government-sponsored terror and intelligence agency corruption itself.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go to break, are there any particular web addresses, websites you'd like to give out?
No, I don't have a special website. We have in Germany websites, but not especially on 9/11, but covering the whole affair, including what's now going on in Tibet.
Well, stay there. I want to hear about this on the other side, and we'll give out that web address for our guest and post it on Infowars.com. We'll be right back. Joining us from Germany, where it's 8 o'clock in the evening, Andreas von BÄ×low. For those stations that just joined us, former Federal Minister of Defense, former head of Research and Technology. He also in Parliament headed up the committee that oversaw the intelligence agencies. He has written several best-selling books. One of them is The CIA on September 11th, Die CIA Under, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And you can get that all over Europe. It's in many different languages, unfortunately not translated into English. Sir, you've got the floor. Why did you first question the official story? What have you learned since then now, saying you officially believe it's an inside job? And then how do we stop them from committing more attacks and bring them to justice?
I wrote a book about using terror as a pretext to wage war, and we had this clash of civilization written by Professor Huntington out of Harvard, and he said all the people of the Western world need, after the Soviet Union has gone, a new enemy. And I think this was one of the first signals long before the 9/11 situation. And then happened World Trade Center 1, I think in 1993 or something like that. And we now know that the FBI was totally informed what was going on, that there would be a terror attack, that were there Muslims living in New Jersey and guided by a guy who worked together with the FBI, and the FBI and this guy, they agreed that there will be an attack on World Trade Center 1, at the first World Trade Center in 1993, and that the bomb would be built by these Muslims, but at the latest moment the bomb should have been made unworkable,
deactivated.
Deactivated, and the FBI in the last minute didn't do that. They knew perfectly what would go on, and there you had six people dead, and I think about 1,000 wounded. This was the first attack on the World Trade Center. Then you had this Oklahoma situation where it's totally impossible that this agricultural bomb would be able to destroy this federal building. Everybody who is an expert knows this. An American general who worked on these explosive fields for I think 10 years.
Former head of Air Force Weapons Development, an actual engineer.
That's right, yeah. And he said it's totally impossible. This kind of agricultural bomb cannot bring about this devastation. But he was thrown out of the court. He was thrown out of the investigation. So I was already. I thought there is a way to bring about the clash with the whole Muslim world.
You already were analyzing the situation, working in intelligence and other areas, and so you already saw it coming.
Yeah, so I was aware that probably something is wrong about this. I didn't knew what was wrong, but I said, well, wait, we are looking on the behavior of the government clearing the situation before, during, and after 9/11. And this was so strange with these 19 Muslims, which they found out within hours, and they couldn't have known them. Then later on, we knew that a lot of them came into your country by visas given by them from secret services, probably the CIA.
Yeah, that's a big point. The heads
so
of the
they were protected to coming in. Part of them joined the American military, and the military was not able to clear the situation. Then you have this fantastic NORAD system on the eastern part of the United States, which didn't work. Before you had, I think, 67 interceptions by military aircrafts going up and clearing the situation.
That was just in the year before, yes.
Yeah, sure. In the year before, it worked perfectly, but on the morning of 9/11, it didn't work. And there were, I think, 4 or 5 exercises going on, air exercises, which totally interrupted the normal procedures. But the government didn't anything to clear the situation after it happened. I think it was the most horrible failures of the American government, and the Bush government is not willing to find out what really went wrong on this day.